And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, August 1st. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain, and many of the stories we read here can also be found at our website at IndianCountryNews.com. Although not yet well known, the lower Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania is one of the great iconic landscapes in America. Those who care about its cultural and natural resource value have recognized the region as the Susquehanna Gateway State Heritage Area and as the lower Susquehanna Conservation Landscape. This valley also has a nationally important story to tell. Before European contact, it was one of the most densely populated Indian settlements on the eastern seaboard. Over 3,000 people are estimated to have lived in just one of the region's palisaded towns known as the Washington Borough site. Today, a blue and gold state historical marker remembers the Washington Borough archaeological sites, noting that this area contains one of the highest concentrations of archaeological sites in Pennsylvania. The sites range from small camps to large villages and cover 11,000 years of Native American culture. Till recently, land use change came slowly to this region. Then on July 1st, 2012, an article appeared in the Lancaster paper that Safe Harbor Power Company was quietly selling land containing some of the most significant archaeological resources in the country. They were selling what was essentially the front yards of the great Indian settlement of the Washington Borough and selling its burial grounds. Caught off guard, conservation groups have scrambled to respond, and several of those groups are asking for your assistance in writing to Mr. Juan Kimball, CEO of Safe Harbor Water Corporation, at jkimball@shwpc.com, and ask him to stop those sales and to work with conservationists to save this extremely important archaeological site instead of selling the land as residential property. You get more information at livinglandscapeobserver.net. We'll put that URL up for you. More than 100 traditional cedar canoes from Northwest tribes as far away as Alaska have been taking part in this summer's annual Indian Journey on Puget Sound. Canoes have been landing at various tribal sites along the way, and last week they were greeted by the Puyallup tribe near Tacoma's Dash Point after a paddle from Seattle. The News Tribune reports the journeys began in 1989 to coincide with Washington's centennial. They became an annual event with various tribes serving as hosts. The Squaxin Island tribe at Olympia is this year's host. The canoes arrived there on July 29th for a week-long potlatch. The canoes carrying up to 15 paddlers. David Bean of the Puyallup Tribal Council says the canoe journey revitalizes traditional ways, especially for the children in those canoes. Acting Assistant Secretary of Indian Affairs Donald E. Lavador announced that the U.S. Department of Interior will conduct a series of listening sessions with federally recognized tribes regarding American Indian sacred sites located on federal lands. The Obama administration recognizes that the protection of sacred sites on federal lands is integral to traditional religious practices, tribal entities, and emblematic of sovereign tribal nations. Those sacred sites listening sessions are intended to assist in developing policies that result in effective, comprehensive, and long-lasting federal protection of and tribal access to the places that are so important to the fabric and culture of tribal nations. The Office of the Assistant Secretary, Indian Affairs, will conduct the sacred sites listening sessions at the following sites and times, beginning on August 23rd through the 16th in Albuquerque, New Mexico, August 23rd through August 24th in the Mystic Lake Casino Hotel, Mohegan Sun Casino, and then August 28th at Portland, Oregon. Other suggestions are due by September 1st via email to consultation@bia.gov or go to www.indianaffairs.gov for more information. Red Lake Bike Rally organizers invite all motorcycle riders to join in a fundraising ride against youth suicide. The event is held in conjunction with the Red Lake Nation Fair celebration in Powell at Red Lake, Minnesota on August 25th, and will be the 5th annual fundraiser against youth suicide bike rally held so far. The rally will begin on the morning of August 25th. Riders are asked to line up at the Red Lake Nation Fire Department and with the Red Lake Nation Fair Celebration Parade at 10 a.m. Bikers will be the first in line and lead the parade. Registration and breakfast for all riders begins at 8 a.m. at the fire department. And for more information, you ought to call Bill May at 218-368-5286, Leah Perkins at 218-766-0209, or Duty May 218-368-4749. And we'll put that first phone number up for you to look at as well. The mother of a 20-year-old man charged in the assault of a boy in Michigan, badly burned, remains were found beneath the house he had lived in, says he had a troubled childhood. Michelle Gutierrez tells MLive.com for a story that Anthony Bennett suffered from mood swings that were diagnosed at age 8 as symptoms of bipolarism and manic depression. A federal grand jury during July indicted Bennett on charges of assaulting 4-year-old Carnell Chamberlain. Bennett hasn't been charged in the death of Carnell, whose body was found June 28th under his house on the Saginaw Chippewa Indian Reservation near Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Bennett lived at the home with Carnell and the boy's mother, Jamie Chamberlain. Jamie Chamberlain has said Bennett was watching Carnell while she was at work. A Wyoming mining company has reached a tentative option with agreements to lease and mine an estimated 1.4 billion tons of coal on the southeastern Montana Crow Reservation, a deal that appears aimed at tapping into the growing export market for a fuel that's in decline domestically. The amount of fuel involved in the deal is more than what the U.S. consumes annually. Cloud Peak Energy said it would pay the tribe up to $10 million during an initial option period if the deal is approved by the Crow tribal legislature and federal officials with the Department of Interior. The deal covers 3 coal deposits near Cloud Peak's existing Spring Creek mine near the Wyoming border. The tribe's reserves are within the Powder River Basin coal fields, which account for about 40% of the nation's coal production. Crow Chairman Cedric Black Eagle has said in the past interviews that the coal could be used and exported to Asian markets, although it's uncertain when mining could begin. And that's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank you for joining with us and come back again soon.